damn it.
You're all right. Intro not play? No intro. So, hello and welcome, boys and girls.
What's up, everyone? So, yet again, Roger, there is some sort of a gremlin or something in my intro that it just starts and then all of a sudden it just decides to stop. So,
Hmm.
I have to try to get the exterminator out and try to get rid of that.
Well, if y'all want to listen to the intro music, if you go out to the prequel that we had out there, you'll be able to hear it, and or we'll try to play it at the end and to get through it. Uh, Tonight we are talking about something that most people don't know in our little in the group chat. We're talking about Wilderness Trail.
There it is.
Yeah, and in fact that they distill for a lot of other producers. So some of people's favorite bourbons they've got out there that are made in Kentucky and things like that are Wilderness Trail bourbon. And they've got three different main, well, they got three different main types. So they do a lot of single barrels. They do a lot of different things. They have their straight high rye bourbon, which is very, very good. But that's the one that they sell a lot. They've got a rye, which is also very popular. Both of the ones I have here are both single barrels. The rye mash bill is very, very popular and has been some of the people's top awarded picks out there, including um, all the big guys have all had it out and said that the rye is one of the better picks. But the bourbon and everything else is what uh, they've done a lot of claim to fame, and they sell a lot of that juice as well as produce it themselves. And then there's a wheated mash bill, which is what I have in the glass tonight. And this again is a single barrel. Um, it is 108.99 proof. It was a family reserve cast strength wheat whiskey. Um, when I first visited them, probably six years ago, um, they were their facility down to the southeast of Bardstown. It's a little bit farther trip, worth the trip if you get a chance. Is got a very, very big and extensive campus. It's gotten even bigger now. The two main owners, and I think Craig can speak to this, originally got into the bourbon industry by producing yeast. And
Right. And actually, uh, if memory serves me correct, they're still into that business. And actually, I believe it was 2022, uh, Campari Group actually bought into Wilderness Trail. So I don't know how much Dr. Pat Heist and his partner Shane Baker still have to do with the distillery part. I'm not for sure. We'd have to check in on that. But
well, from what I understand, they still do the distilling. They still partially they own 10%, something like that. Campari basically owns the production and the rest of the barrels, but the money influx from them allowed them to expand that without utilizing their money from their other business anymore. And uh, they're going to be adding more production. They've already redone their tasting room. They're going to add more production. Because when I first went down there, they had a small column still, and then they had a bigger column still that they just gotten active. So just like anything, if you get money, you can buy more toys and buy more tools and build more rick
absolutely.
houses.
And speaking of a person that has toys and tools, or tools and toys. I guess it depends on how you look at it. We're going to bring in T. What's going on, T? T, you have no audio.
You're muted, my friend.
How about now? Can you hear me
Now
now?
we can
Oh,
hear
hey,
your
there we
lovely
go.
How
voice,
about that?
T.
Voice of an
Yeah,
angel.
yeah, I'm having technical difficulties, but here I am. I made it in. I am connected via phone. I have multiple tools and toys, like you said. I can get it done.
You know, that's what makes a good show is having enough composure to keep going when everything else fails.
That's exactly right. You learn how to make things work. I just hope my computer
I
That's
reboots.
right.
think the I think the phrase before was pivot. You've always got to pivot. You
Always
got to
got
be ready to go.
Remember that was a deodorant commercial back in the days, like never let them see you sweat.
There you go.
I mean, if T wouldn't have said he was on the phone, we wouldn't have known he was on a phone.
Oh, my computer finally booted. I was going to think I would
So
find out tomorrow
yeah,
afternoon.
we're having Wilderness Trail tonight, and I'm kind of ashamed to say it, but this is one of the bourbons that I really got into about 2 years ago. And one night, let's just say, I drank a whole bottle of it and laid out in the front yard and watched the stars and the moon and all that. And I came back to it. So that's a testament to the juice, not to the man. So
That's
I've
what he
always
was
been
seeing.
fond of it. You know. But tonight I'm drinking a cask strength version. Uh, I had a little mishap. The topper
Oh,
came off, but that's okay. Uh, but mine here it's 114.1 proof, and it's got the silver label there, but
The
it's
family reserve cast strength. Yep.
family reserve. Yeah, it's a good one. I don't know how far and wide this is distributed. Uh, I see it a lot around our parts here in the Little Rock, Central Arkansas area. Um, Earlier this year, I was in Texas and I never saw it, so I don't know
hmm.
how many people really know about it.
It goes into certain markets. It's like I've seen it in Florida. Um, I have not. I don't know about the South as well. I'm not familiar with seeing it down that way, but I do know that a majority of the um, times I've seen it, Illinois, Indiana, Missouri has had it. Um, Kentucky, of course. That's where I got a lot of the ones I picked up as far as the variety goes. But
Well,
I always found it just interesting that over the last few years, a lot of people have guessed that their bourbon that there was being a non-distilling producer was coming from these big names when it actually was probably coming from Wilderness Trail.
well, I
And I'll
tell you
give you,
what, if you've
go ahead.
if you've never seen the video, go to Bruzel's page uh, and look up. He did an interview with Pat, and it is fascinating. This guy is a mad scientist when it comes to fermentation and distillation. It's an amazing view to watch this guy. I mean, uh, there's some real geniuses out there. I mean, this guy has a degree in what's it called? Oh, anyway, he's got
He's
a
got lots
degree.
of degrees.
Yes, lots of degrees. Probably too many to even list. That's how
Yeah.
smart this guy is. Now, have either of you ever been to Wilderness Trail?
I
Yep.
have not. No.
So
Yep. I was
Roger's
there.
there.
I was there, and I got the tour. And when I got the original tour, they disclosed something which I thought was kind of interesting. When Pat Heiss first came up with the distillery, he built the distillery right along what's called a trace down in Kentucky and where the Buffalo used to run. And he couldn't call it Buffalo Trace because that was already being used, and it was one of his customers. But he decided to try to call it Wilderness Trace. Well, needless to say, the bigger companies decided that they didn't like it because it was too close to their name. And him being the fact that they were clients and that he worked with a lot of them, because he sells a lot of the yeast to a lot of the bigger distributors, he decided, I'll change it. And he made it Wilderness Trail.
Hmm.
And there was actually an original logo that didn't get released, but had Wilderness Trace as the logo.
That's
But
interesting.
because that whole area kind of flows along, up from Frankfurt, and they go right along that area where the buffalo used to roam through there.
Yeah, that's a good story.
It's a beautiful spot to go visit. I'll just put it that way. If you have the time to drive that extra mileage, it's a little bit farther down, but it's beautiful.
I've never been. Maybe the next time I'm in that area, I can swing by there. It seems to me like every time I go up into Kentucky, I hit all the big distilleries, the major ones. Maybe it's time to hit one that's there is just a ton of craft distilleries out there that nobody even knows of. Speaking of distilleries, I know tonight is the theme night, but boy, I tell you what, this past weekend the theme was
Ooh-wee.
Jack Daniels
And Mo Jack Daniels.
and
Jack Daniels, and Mo Jack Daniels.
more. If you guys haven't seen the video that dropped about, I don't know, a couple of hours ago, go to our Bourbon Legends YouTube channel. It's out there. We made a trip to the Jack Shack. I think after we left, we should have named it the Bourbon Legends Shack because
Or
I'm
the
pretty
Dickle
sure every
Pickle
Bourbon
Shack. Maybe
Legend,
the Dickle Pickle Shack.
yeah, everybody went in there, came out with a bottle. But we had a good time there. Uh, T, I know we've talked about this privately. We were just a little disappointed about the Squire House, weren't we?
I would say more than a little disappointed. I was very disappointed. And maybe my expectations were set a little high. I had first heard about becoming a squire probably a year and a half ago, and I thought that would be awesome. Craig, you even did a search, and I did a search of all the cool things that come with being a squire. Getting to go to the Motlow House, you get this to try things other people can't try. Well, let me tell you guys, that didn't happen to the legends.
No, apparently they only do their tastings every other week. And of course, you know, we were on the off week. Uh, Another thing about if you've never been to that area, the lore is that it is a dry county. Uh, and it shows when you get a sample. Most distilleries in Kentucky, when you go in, you get a decent pour. I would say maybe an ounce. What do you think? A quarter ounce?
I was
Maybe?
guessing quarter ounce, and you couldn't share with anyone else. They were
No.
adamant about sharing with anyone else.
I
Yeah,
actually
and
went to Nearest Green. I did some filming there at Nearest Green. Beautiful facility, by the way. I don't care what kind of financial things they may have going on or whatever. I'm not going to judge them for their poor decisions. Not a knock on the other YouTube channel poor decisions, but kind of a play on words, I guess, now that I said it. But it is a beautiful, beautiful spot as far as, it in my opinion was nicer than Jack Daniels as far as
Mm.
appearance and everything. But same way there, when we went to our tasting after the tour, we all had to wear wristbands, and they had cameras in the tasting room, and we would have to hold our hands up so that they could review the footage to make sure that everybody was drinking there, had a wristband and everything. It was same way there. You couldn't share a pour.
Oh
So
wow.
if your wife didn't drink, it just sat there and went to waste. and that to me is alcohol abuse. So
Well, that's a Tennessee state law, unfortunately, for the dry counties. And you would hope that I always kind of hope that that would change, but I kind of think at some point Jack Daniels has bought into the lore as well of it being a dry county and has no intention on changing it either.
Well, the thing
yeah,
about Jack Daniels, it's not just Jack Daniels being a dry county. Lynchburg basically operates from say 9 a.m. until 5:36 p.m., and that town is all but shut down. It is all but over with, unless you were at the legendary party that ensued.
that or the rodeo they were having just down
Mm,
from us. The rodeo there or horse show, we're not for sure what it was. They may have outlasted the legends
it was
because I
close.
think they were still going on when a lot of us packed up. But 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 they weren't at it all day like we were. I was out at 8 a.m. and I was going. So it was a fun time. Looking forward to the next event. Don't know what that's going to be, but wherever the legends are, I can guarantee you there's going to be some good times. Uh,
Mhm.
we
There's
had a lot of
rumor.
fun just sitting around shooting the shit with everybody.
There's rumor of at least a couple legends planning to possibly be at Penelope for a September 4th release of this state edition.
I
Now, it
did
won't be
hear
a
that.
big group. I don't think it's a big group, but there's at least a couple planning on going, I think.
Well,
And
maybe the
again, we recommend it if you've got time and you plan something, let us know what you're planning
Oh,
and
yeah.
enjoy it. Post some pictures of it on the website and our Facebook page, everything. We'd love to see those pictures because I know fall's a big time. A lot of people do a lot of distillery tours and go on, small group tours, and you don't have to necessarily be, uh, you know, it has to have technically Bourbon Legends sanctioned event. But if you're out there and you're in Bardstown or out in the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, wear your shirt, proud of it, take some pictures and post them, and we'll be glad to share it with everybody.
boy, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to plug these shirts. Um, I don't know how many times I was stopped this weekend with a comment about what is up with that shirt. That's a cool shirt. Where did you get that shirt? And reach in your pocket and pull out that trusty coin there and hand it to them. That's our little calling card. That if you want, you can request them. I can send you a double fistful of them. And yeah, I mean that's the way that this is going to grow. We're not going to buy subs or buy viewers or any of that stuff. So it's all going to happen organically, and that's one of the best ways is to show your support with the dadgum T-shirt. You wouldn't think so, but just so many comments, and
Yeah.
of course it looks even better when you have about 10 or 12 people all wearing
Oh, yeah.
different color shirts that all have the logo on it. Uh, One lady asked me if we were having a family reunion there. And I'm like, lady, there's no way I'm kin to half of these freaks.
You can't pick who you can to.
Yeah,
No.
that's true. That's true.
Hey, but they like bourbon. That made them even better than Ken. They all like bourbon.
That's right. If you like bourbon, then I would say we're bourbon kinfolk, you know. Now, Roger, right over your left shoulder there, right shoulder, if we're looking at you, there's a link to our Patreon page. And there is some big news happening over on the Patreon. If you want to share, it's coming up here in about 2 weeks, I believe.
Yeah, we have a Patreon only giveaway of a bottle. And at this point, we have one bottle that is in play, and it is a Heaven Hill grain to glass bourbon. Uh, Very nice bottle. Um, and as we grow, if there's more Patreons that join throughout the month before the drawing, there might be another bottle that gets added to that little drawing time.
That's
But
right.
all you have to do is be a Patreon member at any of the levels, and you get put in for that Patreon only giveaway. We'll be doing more of those as we go along. There'll be other benefits for the Patreon as we move on, but we're very happy with the people that we already have. Hopefully, we can show them when we close up shop later on. We can run a
Well,
scroll of everybody.
it'll be tomorrow night. I don't have the outro set up for this show. It's hard to produce two highly graphical shows in 1 week.
It
Much
is. It
less
is.
much less 2 days in a row, and keep your regular job going,
And go on a trip.
and try
Santa,
to
are you sure you
edit.
don't have the outro? You don't have the outro loaded into StreamYard?
I don't have. So Terry,
I'll have to show you how to do that, won't
I guess you. I mean, no, I have it in StreamYard, but since I'm running on 2 different dates,
I?
I
Doesn't
have to
matter.
look.
It's always sitting there in your media assets.
Hmm.
Ooh, media asset. I like that.
Okay. Well,
Hey, see,
Media asset.
you
T,
will
the
have to
man of
tell me.
technical tools.
See, now I changed to tomorrow night's show, and you see what happened. It just pushed me all off of there. Yeah, I still, I'm still new at this. I have to learn all these nuances of
Oh, we're
things,
still
but
learning. Everybody's learning.
it's one of those things. It's a learning curve. I'm still trying to figure out a lot of times just how to get out of the stream once we've got it started. And I don't know why, but for some reason my intro keeps 2 times now. It's just petered out after about 10 seconds. So I don't know what's going on with that. If we weren't live, it would play for the full 2 minutes and 6 seconds. But it's live TV. It is what it is. I'm not worried about it too much anyway. So Terry, you don't have a real bottle of this Wilderness Trail, you said, huh?
No, I have a sample of the high cotton version, and actually I just finished it off. But it's the weeded high cotton single barrel. Yeah, I have a shelf full of bourbon and whiskey, but no Wilderness Trail, not a one.
Hmm.
I got to fix that.
You're gonna have to. I mean, it's relatively inexpensive
Oh
compared to
yeah.
a lot of different bourbons and whatnot. Uh, Roger, do they have any high dollar bottles? I mean, like something that's highly allocated. I've never seen any myself.
Not as much highly allocated as much as high dollar because of the fact that they have some age stated distillant. They had some 6 and 8 year distillant, and I think at this point, maybe next year, they'll be at 10 years from their time of first starting to produce distillant. I don't know how much they have for that, but I know that they did have some 8 year stuff that they put out, which again in their niche and in their group, they sell it out and it goes out pretty quick. I know that distribution is a little strange as far as the way it goes, but again, there's a lot of people that really covet that and go after it. And I think, have you had the ability to highlight some of the comments people are making?
I do. Let me see here. What
I
Chillwood
think
Rocco.
Will made a really good point, and I think it kind of uh,
which one? The one about being an asset or just an
yeah,
ass?
Yeah,
he's been
yeah.
called an asset before,
Mm-hmm.
This one right here.
but maybe just an ass. See, and again,
I'm not sure
there's a
you can be
technical
an
piece to
you
that. You
you
know,
can't
you
be an asset without being an ass first.
ass first, yeah.
Mhm.
So, boys and girls, I tell you, if you haven't had Wilderness Trail, go out, find a bar, find a store that maybe has one on sample that they're tasting out. I think they're going to be more of them available coming next year because of the Campari group buying them. You're going to see more single barrels available. You're going to see things like that hitting the market. But the other key
Oh,
piece to it is,
pumpernickel.
excuse me. The other big thing is go out there and check your bottles that you got you thought were distillant from the various places, and check them against the mash bills for Wilderness Trail. And you'd be surprised that quite a few of them are probably Wilderness Trail distillant.
Do you know any big names that were distilled from Wilderness Trail?
Well, I know that some of the original Augusta distillery products that they first put out, and again, remember they were non-producing at the beginning. They did produce their very first distillant this last couple of weeks. Uh, Congratulations to them. But they use some of that old Route 8. They used some Wilderness Trail in there,
Okay.
as well as Barton and a few others. So I
Well,
know that's one.
I do have an old what is it, Route 8? Is that what it was
Hmm.
called? I do have a bottle of that. I want to kind of get back on. I forgot something when we were talking about Jack Daniels that I think that should be said. I
And then
think it
Hack and
was a
Mac made a good point. Kentucky Nectar, if you haven't heard of that, is possibly Wilderness Trail distillate.
Oh,
right here. Here we go.
Yep.
Now, what I was going to say about Jack Daniels, it is kind of out of the way. It's not like taking a trip to Kentucky where there's
yeah.
three, or four distilleries right there. I mean, you do have, for the time being, you have um, all the one I mentioned,
Near screen.
near screen. They
Yeah.
have
Company.
company there in town as well. But I think it's a good weekend. And one of the things that Jack Daniels, or Brown Foreman rather, they own Mary Bobo's restaurant. And I'm going to tell you, T, that
I
that to
agree.
me was almost more of a highlight than Jack Daniels itself, distillery.
I agree with you, Craig. That was just the atmosphere, the lady telling the story. We had a large group. We were cutting up, having a good time. She still was able to get the story. It was really, it really was a highlight. I would go back probably. I would come closer to going back just for lunch than I would to Jack Daniels. I probably had my fill of Jack Daniels for a while.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we did a tour there at Jack Daniels. It was a good tour. Um, there again, they wouldn't let you film or take pictures of certain areas because of their proprietary, things they do. And honestly, there was really nothing proprietary about it. I mean, making whiskey is making whiskey, and there was no company secrets that we would have divulged if we had taken a picture of any of that. But that's their policy. But man, I love going into a rick house and taking a picture inside a rick house, and they wouldn't let us take a picture in the rick house.
Oh, I didn't realize that, but you're right. We did go in that Rick House, old Rick House, and they would not
But
let us
one of
take
the
pictures.
coolest things about the tour to me was, uh, well, since we were squires, that the one perk we did have is we got to choose between a frozen Jack and Coke or a frozen Jack and lemonade. That was good. Uh, I don't know how much Jack was actually in it,
It was good though.
but
It was
I
hot.
enjoyed it.
It
But I
was hot.
love the grotto area where Mr. Jack, when he purchased the land there, and for hundreds of thousands of years, that pure water has been pouring out of
Mhm.
that grotto there. Uh, that was just a beautiful spot.
Well, and then the other thing is, I think what you might have met some folks down there that were a little interesting. Apparently, there was a gentleman, from England, that was dressed up like Jack Daniels. I mean,
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
them all down there. You get them the ones that
Or
want
was
to
he
be
from
Jack.
England or New Zealand? I can't remember, but
And you guys weren't at Old Glory, but Tracy in the chat said JD sounds totally different than Hard Truth. Old Glory was too. We basically owned Old Glory. We wandered around drunk and aimlessly. for hours around that place. Come and go as you please. We were truly had a VIP treatment at Old Glory, and maybe we're now Old Glory Squires rather than Jack Daniel Squires.
Yeah, and I tell you, the part of it here is it's history, and they do produce a lot of very good products that we all enjoy.
We do.
We've I think a lot of quite a few of the folks got picked up some special release bottles down there and got some things like that. Again, not always about the uh, tour of the plant; it's about the distillant that they're making.
I just
Um,
counted something. I have officially more Jack Daniels bottles than I have of anything on my shelf.
See, there you go. You're a
Whoa,
squire because you're representing the
that's
brand
hard to believe.
on the stuff they produce.
Hmm.
And I
And
mean,
that
don't get me
blackberry
wrong.
is really
Don't get
good.
me wrong. I thought it was a great tour or whatnot. Uh, it's just, maybe I had Jack Daniels is such an iconic brand that maybe I just thought that things were going to be a little more
Legendary.
big and exaggerated, and but I mean, overall, it was I'm glad I've done it. I'm glad to say that I've been to Jack Daniels. Uh, and would I go back again? Probably, just not anytime, within a year or so. I would, you know, I'd have to space it out a little bit, and definitely would go back to Mary Bobo's. And
Oh yeah.
the burning question that I have, T, and I don't know if you know the answer to this or not, but that meatloaf, do you think it had onions and peppers in it?
We will never know. Look, I don't eat onions, but I was able to eat the meatloaf. So if it was, they were cooked very well until the point you couldn't taste it. I have a weird reaction to onions, but I don't know. We may never know. She couldn't tell us. So there you go.
No, she wouldn't tell us. I definitely know it was in the onions and the cucumber salad there, which I didn't partake in because cucumbers don't like me for some reason. I don't know.
I'm leaving that one alone. I'm
Yeah.
leaving that one alone. I could have really, I could have jumped all into that and said, "There's somebody else in our group that's a legend that's in Atlanta that doesn't like the shape of cucumbers or anything that looks like a cucumber right now at all." But I didn't. I didn't go down that road.
Especially when they're green, like our little name tags and everything.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
there may be a reason that we picked green tonight. I don't
that's
know.
not his favorite color, is it? I don't think that's one of his favorite colors. No,
No, but I tell you what, it makes for good conversation.
it does. And the only place you can get that conversation is on our Legend Discord chat,
That's
and you
right.
have the ability to listen in on that and the great
And
little conversations we've
and
got.
that is not a PG channel. That's a
MA, mature.
mature. Yeah,
Mature,
R. I
yeah.
was going to say R. Sometimes it even gets close to being an X rated channel, but we try to pull back on the reins on that. But hey, what do you say that we go over there?
There's already two legends over there, and there may be two of the Life from the Patio legends that are already there.
Uh,
The benefit of using my phone is once my computer started, I could right
you can
behind it.
see all that. Well,
I
you
can
know
jump
what?
right in.
Here's the deal. Uh, I say we make like a tree and leave. Is that how that saying
Yeah,
goes?
but I want to tell everybody that's on here, if you aren't subscribed, subscribe, like the channel, like the this part. Join us tomorrow night. Then same
Well,
network, same bat channel.
before we go, let's highlight what's going on tomorrow night. For starters, we're going to have a bourbon hunting legend out there, Cutlass. I don't know if any of you guys have followed his
Cutlass High
channel,
Proof.
Robert
Cutlass
Dow
High Proof.
Jr. Cutlass High Proof. That's right. He's going to be our guest tomorrow night, and we're going to try to stump him with some
Oh,
questions. And he doesn't know that unless he's watching tonight, and if he does, then he may be prepared. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some new news that's just came out in the last few hours, maybe.
Oh.
We're going to have
Breaking
some
news.
Pours. We're going to have some K-Luke. Can't wait to have some K-Luke. And then we're also going to have some something from the Memphis area that's sweet.
That's all over town, and everybody's hunting after it and buying bottles and bottles and bottles.
And they better hurry and buy it up, because I can tell you this, there's under 2,000 bottles available. So get to hunting, Memphians.
Memphians.
All right. I say we go to the Discord. Everybody have a good night.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for stopping by.
And,
Cheers, everybody.
You know what? I could play the intro for the outro, you know?
Do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
See if it'll play.
Let me see if I can actually do it. I don't know if I can or not. I'm going to try.
Came through swinging like a wrecking ball. Drop a grand on the ball when I said hello. They don't make them like me anymore. Getting dirty with my boys on the bourbon floor. About to put the town on lockdown. Another Friday night with the lights out. They don't make them like me anymore. Getting dirty with my boys on the bourbon floor. Yeah, bourbon legends never die. From the backwoods to the big time. Sipping on my drink like it's holy water. With a little bit of my boys on the bourbon floor. With a little bit of my boys on the bourbon floor. With a little bit of my boys on the bourbon floor.
Why are you guys still watching? I mean, there's 7 of you guys still watching. Come on, get over to the Discord, for crying out loud. I mean, that's where I'm going. See you tomorrow night. 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 Eastern. Going to be some prizes given away, so stick around.